What's up, everybody? It's Sean Stone here. I realized I didn't have a lot of case studies, and one of my clients recently asked me, what does a really successful launching case study look like? So I decided to make one. So today we're going to go through it. Again, before we get into it, quick plug for Stone's Goods. So we launched on February 16, 2025 with 0 reviews, no ranking at all. And we are currently, so I made this case study on November 1st. Today is November 6th when we're recording. And so we are currently number 1 organically, and we are also Amazon's choice. So we actually ranked to 2nd place within 30 days of actually launching this product. So we launched on February 16th. On March 12th, we were ranked organically 2nd place. So we were profitable in May with a $2,374 net profit, 11% margin, 19% tacos. What's more interesting is after this launch period, we were profitable every month since. And so I want to talk to you about how we did it, what we did, and all that kind of stuff, because I realized not everyone's able to do this. And so I want to just kind of get into what it was that we did, why it worked, and how we would replicate it. So this is a timeline. So February 16th, we were available and in stock. February 18th, ads were live, and we had a 50% conversion rate on some of our keywords. March 7th was our first profitable day. March 23rd, we were organically ranked first. April was our first profitable month. Late April, we were maintaining profits daily, so like daily profits. And May, we were organically 2nd or 3rd place with limited ads due to running low on stock. So this should not have worked. We launched with 0 reviews during a completely cold into the health and wellness niche in February, which is like peak season. So we launched in peak season. The category conversion rate, which is like the benchmark conversion rate, was between 10 and 16%. So we were kind of up against some decent competitors, maybe not the strongest competitors, but we had people we needed to beat. Cost per click was quite expensive. There's a bunch of national brands in this category. And so this was Amazon.ca specifically, but this would work on any other niche. We're going to do future case studies where we do things in Amazon US. This is just one that happened to be really, really replicatable and easy to explain. So we launched Q1 Amazon.ca with peak competition, everyone's spending aggressively. And the other reason this shouldn't work is Amazon doesn't want you to win. Amazon doesn't want you to make a small net loss and then immediately start collecting profits. This goes against what Amazon's best interests are. And that's part of why we do it, is because we know that this is going to make us money and make our clients money. So why it worked. We knew our conversion rate before we spent $1. So we knew what our conversion rate needed to be. We knew where we thought it would be. And we kind of did the math beforehand to make sure that this made sense. We only went after keywords where the math said we could win. We launched at break even on purpose. So we're going to get into the pricing in a few minutes, but we created a pricing ladder that was very strategic and was a big factor of why we won. So yeah, we used price as a lever. We changed it frequently. We changed it at different intervals. So we weren't changing our price at a consistent interval. We changed it when we thought we had the advantage and we could get away with it. And then we only spent when we were winning the conversion battle, because again, conversion is key here. So overall, competitors were running their ads and we were running a playbook. And that's what we do here at Stone's Goods. That's why we use this playbook. Yeah. Our system is the pair process. This is the last one about what we do. So promotions, ads, inventory, rankability. I feel like each of these are self-explanatory, but promotions are just ways to enhance your conversion rate. Ads, way to get people to come to your product. Inventory, we don't want to go out of stock. We'd rather turn off ads than go out of stock. Rankability is the approach we use to determine if a product can rank in the top 5 organically on any major keyword. And so when we see a product that we think can, we just know the math screams yes. And so we kind of take it and run. Okay, so here's the details. We launched health and wellness, and from February 16th to November 1st, we did $175,000. That's one product in their catalog. So we added $175K in less than a year to their catalog. We're ranking top 5 on all the major keywords. The lifetime margin is low because we're still making up for some of these launch costs, but we have plans to really grow, and we expect to see bigger growth in the coming months because our pricing is higher, as well as our conversion rate being a lot more dominant now than it was before. So I'm feeling quite optimistic about this as our reviews have grown too. So basically, the background, we have a very aggressive brand owner. He wanted to rank top 5 for this product, and our core metric was conversion rate. So the math beyond the ranking. So this is a tool called DataRova that we use all the time. And so you can see here, the top ASIN competitor is 16.1%. And that was the main keyword we were going after. We looked at this keyword and we said, okay, well, it's the one that does the most of any of the keywords in this catalog. And it's also the one that's truly the most relevant to us. And so we're ranked organically number one. We're also sponsored number one. This number, daily sales to rank, you need to make 4 sales per day to rank in the top 10. I believe that's what Datarova's numbers say. I don't know that that's always the most accurate, but it is a helpful benchmark. So the conversion rate trend is we were February 29%, March 23%, April 22%. So over the first 90 days, that's kind of where we stayed. And so again, we had to beat 16. And so we managed to be way above that. And that really helped us. Okay, so this is the pricing ladder. For a lot of people, this might be one of the most interesting slides. Basically, we launched at $17.99, then went to $18.99. Oh, wait. 18 to 19 to 20 to 21 to 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 for quite some time. 25 for quite some time, 26 for quite some time, 27 for quite some time, and now we're at $28.99. So we always waited a minimum of 24 hours before each price change, but we didn't have a maximum amount of time we had to wait. So it's like minimum of 24 hours, but that's just so we could be sure that the conversion rate data was stable. And then as soon as we gained ranking, we definitely moved things where we needed to. All right, so we ended, at $28.99 with our rank intact. So this is a zoomed in version of that same graph. The reason we do this is because I hate when people kind of like brush over things. If you email me or send me a LinkedIn DM, I'll send you a copy of these slides. These are really great, and I think there's a lot of good information to be had here. The early results, so the first 30 days, this is the deep dive that no one wants to see. Like no one's willing to share like, oh yeah, this is what it looks like. This is how much money you lose on average at the beginning of a launch, but this is what we were doing. So we were launching 17, 18, 19.99 in this time frame, and we actually probably could have done better, but Amazon had the big spring sale coming up and we weren't able to run discounts. And that's technically in the second period, but we were kind of planning around that. And we realized we would have had to run a discount off of $17.99. So we opted out. So again, zooming in, March 7th was our first profitable day. We turned off ads for a day to just see what would happen. And we knew that we could make money. And so that gave us confidence to kind of scale up spend from there, because we could see with relative certainty, if we keep spending, we will absolutely be able to grow and raise our price in the future. So then mid-launch, this is where the magic happens. So March 17th through to the end of the month. Again, this is where there was that Prime Day fall sale. It's Prime Day spring sale that I think started on the 27th and went to the 31st. It was the 25th, but it was the last 7 days of March. We had this, and we were selling, on average 30 units a day by mid-March, which was great. As you can see here, once we got into April, we started to make a little bit more profit. We started to turn this product profitable because we were not competing with a bunch of people who had products on sale. So that was really helpful. And also we were at $22.99 March 20th to 31st. Mid-March, obviously, we're fluctuating back and forth between profit. This will happen quite a bit in a launch. One day you'll be profitable, the next day you won't, and you'll kind of have to dance back and forth for a little while to make sure you can solidify your rankings before you can pull back on ad spend. And so, as you can see here, like the second 30 days, you're like, okay, there's starting to be glimmers of hope, but still not a lot. And so, this is a zoomed in version. Again, I wanted everyone to be able to see this. We're still losing money. No one's pretending we weren't. Our tacos was nothing impressive, 30%. And you might notice I'm not talking at all about ACoS. That's because it's just not a relevant metric in a launch. Conversion rate and tacos are the true two relevant metrics when you're trying to launch a rankable product. Okay. So the late results. This is where things get interesting. So April was our first fully profitable month. I mean, you can see that from before. Conversion rate was steady at 22%. Price hit $26.99 on April 9th. And then we started to go low stock in April, late April and early May. And so we started to reduce ads, but we were able to hold rank even though that was happening. So again, this is where things turned the corner. We're a lot happier about this. And this is a happy graph where we're suddenly making profits. And so, here's a zoomed in version again. You might notice now we're at 18.98% tacos. That's a lot better. And we're able to hold things slow and steady once we were able to turn the ranking corner and kind of get ourselves up to a place that made sense. Okay, so profit results, again, we're going to dive into each individual month in a second. February 16th and November 1st, almost 7,000 units, so 6,775 units. Net profit of $9,000 and a 5.5% margin. Again, you're going to see that the margin is a lot better than that, but we're still recouping these launch costs. Again, this is what a expensive ranking number one on a major keyword looks like. If you're looking at this and saying, I can't afford that, that's totally okay. This is not for everyone. This is for someone who really wants to dominate. And we just want people to be aware of what this looks like because it can be really helpful. Okay. So this is February. Nothing impressive here. We lost money. Congratulations, Sean. But the big thing is tacos was 32%, and we did have some Amazon fees from sending product in, but for the most part, it was just getting up and running, and that's how things started. Also, it's important to call out that budgets were low to start. What we're trying to do is find out what we need to spend before we need to dive headfirst into spending more. So then March 2025, this product doing decent now. Tacos is at 37%. So this is probably the tacos high. Again, I actually didn't look at tacos month over month before I started making this video, but overall tacos was high and we were doing pretty well. April ranking started to pay off. This was our first profitable month. 24% tacos that month and a 6.53% margin. So immediately we're beating the average. We're just paying off some of the margin that we didn't have before. Things were still getting optimized. May was our first profit growth month. Also, I think sometime in the middle of May is when we broke even collectively on the product. So a little past 90 days, I think. I think it was late May, because May 16th would have been 90 days. So we were past May 16th before we broke even, which is, again, really important information to know if you want to rank a product and rank it number one. It may be 3 months of technically net losses or kind of just breaking even before you start to pay that off. And so, yeah, we're focusing on lowering tacos. 19% tacos is a lot better. We had solidified number one ranking position. We were pulling back a little bit on ads because there was a low stock period as well. But overall, this was going well. June, definitely a slower month. We're focused on getting set up for Prime Day. Something that's important to call out is our tacos remained at 19%, and we had a 12% margin in the month of June. Again, that's starting to get a lot more healthy because it's 12% net margin after everything. Aside from employees and that kind of stuff, there's nothing else in here aside from this. And again, this is not the only product they have. They have a bunch of other products that rank number one, but this is the one that we had launched in February to go after this keyword. So July, this is Prime Day month. So we did see tacos go up and total sales went up quite a bit. Just in general, margin was down to 808% or 8.08%, or Bob, as I like to call it. But this was really helpful because it solidified our position. We had a couple of competitors who didn't run deals. And so in that time, I think we saw our subscribe and save numbers jump quite a bit. So just in general, profitability really grew during this time frame. August was definitely a slow month, although we still did sell a lot. We sold 25 grand. I think the average month was closer to 20. And so margin was at 9%. We were around 20% tacos. Basically, when I look at the month of August, I'm I wish this had gone better. And the other thing is we were working during August. I took my summer vacation in June of this year. So it's not I was working the whole time. So I was a little surprised that this product had struggled so much, but I think it was just a miscalibration between conversion rate and ad spend. Even then, still happy with this month. I think it was still good, but I wish it was better. Can you tell I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to launches? Okay, so September, we definitely pulled back and we also saw a lot slower performance in September. Overall, not a lot to say here. 21% margin, 21% tacos, 9% margin. Nothing too exciting. And then October Prime Day really did bite into our margins. This was an account that really was saw a decline in performance thanks to October Prime Day. Now, what's been great is, and I didn't add this to the slides, but the first 6 days of November have been absolutely killer for this product. So some of the investments we've been making are just still paying off. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to put out a V2 of this product 1 year in, because this is one of those products that just has been absolutely crushing it for a long time. And it is still number one on its main keyword going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So the ranking journey. February 13th, not ranked. February 28th, even February 15th, not ranked. February 28th, 8th, March 23rd, 1st, April to May, top 3, even with, and this should say low stock, but because we weren't completely out of stock, but even while low stock, this is right now, this is October 30th, we're first, and we've been first for quite some time. This is hard, aside from actually photoshopping, which I assure you I'm not doing, the only other way to do this is by actually implementing a good strategy, because you can't even do this with a best deal, because there's too many days here. So it's been a lot of hard work, and a lot of credit goes to the client for being so aggressive and for creating such a great product. But yeah, as you can see, this is the main keyword for this product, and we are absolutely dominating it. So what made this work is we very early identified the dominant keyword that drove 90% of the volume. Again, you can see here, February and March, we didn't make that much money. And then April onwards, we had a profitable month every month. We benchmarked our conversion rates before we launched, not after. So we already knew what our conversion rates needed to be. And that's why we were comfortable with low ad spend in the beginning. Call it the first few months. We didn't really need to worry so much about our ad spend, because we knew that all we were focused on is spending an adequate amount of money each day and then making sure that we were hitting our conversion rate goals. And if we weren't, we were talking about why. And so we launched at break even, and then we only raised the price incrementally once we knew we were going to maintain our rankings. And then we focus on conversion instead of scale. Again, like I said, if we were converting at a level we needed to, but our budget wouldn't allow us to spend that much, we would just wait, because we knew that eventually Amazon would see this high converting product and start pushing it up the rankings, because it's going to make them more money. And so then we raised prices after we locked in rankings. That was really key. So we left money on the table and left this product at a lower price than it could have been, because we were so concerned about keeping the number one organic spot. So again, you might have seen this graph a few times, but it bears repeating. This is a very, very effective graph. I'm really quite happy about this, because this means, profit and a really rankable product in my client's portfolio. So lessons: only spend when winning the conversion war. Again, this is another screenshot from Helium. This is a screenshot from Helium 10 instead of from DataRoba. So you could just see from another product or from another software tool. We're doing the exact same thing. These numbers are very replicatable. So spend when you win the conversion war. Use price as a lever for profit and lean into that over anything else. Our next growth levers are going to be adding a 2-pack SKU. Expanding your subscribe and save numbers. We didn't push subscribe and save early enough on this product, in my opinion. That was a decision that the brand owner kind of pushed back on. But overall, we're still stacking subscribe and savers nonstop. And then maintain conversion rate of greater than 20% with higher margins. So there's still room on the table for us to spend less money and make more money per sale. So takeaways: rankability equals conversion dominance. That is the key thing you need to keep in mind. Spend until your conversion rate's better than your benchmark, or until you can statistically verify your conversion rate's not as good as your benchmark. Use math, not emotion, for your pricing. It doesn't matter what you want this product to cost. It doesn't matter what your cost of goods are. What matters is what the market is willing to pay, and the way you present that has a big impact on what the market is willing to pay. And then we hit profit within, we hit profitable days within 90 days and ranked number one. I think it was day 95 or 96. We hit the black, and overall, I'm really happy about this. I'm really proud of it. So if you want us to implement this for you, scan this QR code. This will take you to a booking link. There should also be a link in the YouTube description of how we could do this for you. Would love to have any thoughts, questions, concerns. Send me a LinkedIn message, comment on this video, like this video. My mother-in-law really wants me to tell you to subscribe to this video and to our channel, so please do that. Until next time, thanks so much.